For my behaviorist biography project, I chose Dr. Christy A. Alligood. Dr. Alligood is a behavior scientist at Disney's Animal Kingdom. She's a faculty member in the Department of Psychology at the University of Florida. She was a nominee for the 2021 UF College of Liberal Arts and Sciences Teacher of the Year Award. She's a previous president of the Applied Animal Behavior Special Interest Group and a previous coordinator of the Special Interest Group's board. She's a current secretary of the Southeastern Association for Behavior Analysis and is an instructor for the Association of Zoos and Aquariums Environmental Enrichment in Zoo and Aquariums course and general member of the AZA Behavior Advisory Group, serving on the Cultural Change Working Group. She received an MA in 2003 from the University of North Carolina at Wilmington and a PhD in 2007 from West Virginia University. She has a doctoral level board certified behavior analyst, and she now works for the Animal Husbandry Department at Disney on various projects, including animal behavior, organizational studies, and departmental strategy. She has also worked in home, school, and clinic settings with children with challenging behavior and their caregivers and teachers, and currently supervises students in these areas of practice. Dr. Alligood is an adjunct faculty member in the School of Behavior Analysis at the Florida Institute of Technology. She is an instructor for the AZA Training Applications in Zoo and Aquarium Settings course, is the president of the Southeastern Association for Behavior Analysis, and is on the program committee of the Association for Behavior Analysis International. Her research interests lie in the stimulus control of human and animal behavior. She is still an active member in the field of behavior. Here are the articles that I chose to do research with for my behavior biography. Dr. Alligood has done a lot of her work with Key Largo wood rats. They are a species that is endangered, so what she has done is brung them into a captive environment so that she's able to study them and see how they can better help them to take them off the endangered species list. So the first article, Pup Development and Maternal Behavior in Captive Key Largo Wood Rats, was about the reproductive system and reproduction of the Key Largo wood rats. The pups are the babies of the Key Largo wood rats. This journal article again speaks about the Key Largo wood rats, which are from Key Largo, Florida, and are an endangered species. And this article focuses on the wood rats' first 30 days of life. They did find that these rats have a hard time surviving in the wild and continuing to reproduce to prolong the survival of the species. The next article, Development of Husbandry Practices for the Captive Breeding of Key Largo Wood Rats. This journal article focuses on the wood rats of Florida and how the Disney's Animal Kingdom is working with this endangered species to breed and repopulate to bring this species off of the endangered list. They are able to complete their research and to help the wood rats repopulate by placing them in a captive breeding environment. So basically they take them, put them in an environment that they can control, and it's very similar to their natural environment, and they're able to use a video system to watch the rats at night and take very detailed notes on how the rats interact with each other and their reproduction and how they act in general in this captive environment. They also noted in this study the female cycles of the wood rats and noted at the end that 30 new pups were born. The next article, the vocal repertoire of the Key Largo wood rats. Dr. Alligood and her fellow colleagues decided to examine the species and how they vocalize to each other to aid in reproduction, since there was very little research on how they vocalize to each other. So this just means how they communicated with each other. So after analyzing the wood rats, they did discover that there were 4 different calls in which they communicated with each other. And each of these calls were associated with the different needs of the rats, which helps them to survive in the wild. They did note in this article that some of the calls were different due to them being in a captive breeding environment. The next article was Applying Behavior Analytical Methodology to the Science and Practice of Environmental Enrichment in Zoos and Aquariums. So this article focuses on how behavior methods can be applied not only to humans but also to animals. Dr. Alligood and her fellow researchers discussed how you can use behavior analytic methodology in the zoological community and not just with humans. They also discussed which single subject design should be used for animal populations and also which statistics they should use to break down their results. Just like in humans, behavior analysts have to determine what type of research and strategies they will use based on their clients, whether it's human or animal, and the different types of species within the animals. The last article is Branching Out, Finding Success in New Areas of Practice, Behavior Analysis in Practice. So this article focused on finding ways to improve upon the science of behavior, making the study and practice of changing and developing behaviors fit into this new modern society. So our society is constantly changing and our science needs to be changing with it. And with any type of science, you want to make sure that it is staying relevant and up to date on new information. This is so that we can help our clients with their unhelpful behaviors and turn them into helpful behaviors, whether that be with humans or animals. This article helps other behavior analysts transition from their learning environment into their working environment. So a summary of Dr. Alligood's work. Again, she's a board-certified behavior analyst who works with Disney's Animal Kingdom, working with and researching animal behavior. She's best known for her work with the key Largo wood rats and how to help them move away from the titled endangered by observing them in that captive environment and their behaviors. And the things that they were watching in that captive environment is their vocalization, their maternal behaviors, and their habitat. And she did earn a Bean Award for this. She worked with designing evidence-based instruction to teach her students online and in person. She's taught multiple professional development classes for behavior analysts as well as animal professionals. And she created the How Research Works class, where she states that students should stick to the textbook until they develop their skills and knowledge of behavior and how it applies to their work. So really becoming masters in the science behind behavior and all the methodology before they take it out into the world. She helps other researchers understand how the research itself works and how it can help other species. These are some of the questions that I would ask Dr. Alligood in an interview. How do you use your knowledge of animal behavior to also benefit humans? Can you discuss the most remarkable piece of information that you have found in your research with animals and conservation? Which species of animal has been the most interesting to study as far as their behavior? What has been your most challenging research subject and why? What do you plan on yourself doing in the next 5 years? Will you stay with behavior animal research, or will you move on to something new? Dr. Alligood is very important to the field of behavior for many reasons. She has used her expertise in the application of behavior analysis to enhance the welfare of animals through her cooperative training and environmental enrichment, including that captive environment that she is using with the key Largo wood rats, behavior problem solving, and behavior change strategies supporting the conservation of wildlife and wild places. And I received this information from the Faculty Finder, the Chicago School 2018. So she is really trying to bring the science of behavior into modern times, and she uses behavior both for human and animal, and really helps her students master the content and master their skills before they move on to practicing it in the field. Here are the references for this article. This is where I received my information. Thank you.